Good morning and welcome to this service of Unity of Bernie. We're so glad you're with us. You are in the house of love built. You're in the place where joy is right now. Wish you were here to be able to see how all of us interact with one another. This is truly a place where we celebrate new beginnings, possibilities, all the good that we know our God has in store for us. I thank you for joining us this morning. I invite you to be part of us. Come to this service where people are here ready to support you on your journey and be the kind of support that you want and you need in your spiritual walk. We look forward to seeing you when you're able. Please, and right now, come join the family.
Morning, Jay. Yeah, excellent. Good. I guess I didn't see you come in or something. I've been in the back of the plane. Yeah. Oh, that you were late. I've had that happen all the way from Austin. I've had to call Tom. When am I going to get there? I just think it's weird. It's like it's all to go all the way halfway around the world to get there. Anyway.
Good morning. As we prepare to begin, please turn off your cell phones and put them away for the remainder of the service. My name is Jennifer Milton. I have to add that today is my 30th and last day of wearing blue and green. April is Donate Life Month, and it's a month that we honor organ, eye, tissue, and living donors and the success of transplantation. And those of you that may know me know that that's what I do for a living and am quite passionate about it. We're so glad to have David Rosenblatt providing our music today.
Nice to be back.
I'm going to ask you to stand and join us as we sing Joy Song number 42. This is My Father's World.
We don't want to think of this as too patriarchal, but this is a beautiful old hymn. This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world, I rest me in the thoughts of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. He brings the wondrous law. This is my Father's world, the birds their carols raise, the morning light, the lily white declare the Maker's praise. This is my Father's world, He shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass I hear Him pass, He speaks to me everywhere. This is my Father's world, the they bear forecast that though the wrong seems off so strong, there is a ruler yet. This is my Father's world, how could my heart be sad? The Lord is King, let the heavens ring, God reigns, let the earth be glad.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Please be seated. If this is your first time here, would you please stand and tell us your name?
Is it first time in a long time also?
It counts. First time in a long time counts.
Nancy Sorensen of Unity of Houston tonight, church on staying right down that way on the scenic loop now for a couple of months, so I'll be back.
Nancy, we're glad you're here with us, and we're glad to see all of the rest of you here with us today. Inside your bulletin, you'll find a prayer request form for any prayer requests that you may have. You can drop them in the offering basket later, and they will be put with other prayer requests. Our own prayer team prays over them for a week, And they are also sent to Silent Unity, where they are prayed over for a month. I have some announcements to share with you. The Daily Word booklets are on the desk by the back door for May, June. Please feel free to take one at no charge. We're collecting dry goods, toiletries, etc. to pass on to the various Bernie groups to help those in need. There's a container by the front door each week where you can put in and bring your own donations. And I'm going to ask Kathy Brown to assist the worship assistant to talk about lunch at Belisara and some other things that she is working on.
Okay, I had to wear 2 hats this morning and my brain doesn't work that way. So the first thing, the board is doing a new church directory, and a lot of you have already signed, have written out the information for me. It's coming around. I think I know who I have skipped so far that I haven't caught. But if there is any portion of this that you do not want in the directory, just leave that portion blank, and it won't be that. So that's that part of my brain. I need a show of hands for Belisara so I can call in the reservation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Oh, God.
Nice work. Aside from a great lunch at Belisara with some great fellow congregants, we have several ways you can join us. Our Sunday morning book discussion is every Sunday from 9:30 to 10:30 in our fellowship room. I love that they add this to our announcements, but it says come for coffee, tea, and stimulating conversation. And we have several ongoing activities virtually by Zoom. We have a book study on radical forgiveness. That's on Sundays at 7 p.m. Course in Miracles on Wednesday at 8 p.m., led by Reverend Jay. And Pathlighters is at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. The login information is in your order of service, and it also can be found on our Facebook page. Now we're going to have our daily word read by Chris Diaz.
As we quietly and gently prepare for the reading of the daily word, we remember that we are in spirit with millions of daily word readers and churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call the Christ within. The word for today is simplicity. The affirmation is, I pause to appreciate life's simplest blessings. Today I give thanks for the simplest blessings, the small things that bring a smile to my lips and a warm feeling to my heart. A hug from a friend, a cuddle from a grandchild, or stroking the soft fur of a beloved pet fills my awareness with love. The sudden lift I get seeing a favorite person's handwriting in the mail, or the thrill of spotting a rainbow after a cleansing rain shower sparks lasting happiness in my heart. These things and more remind me that true contentment is found in life's smallest moments, the everyday treasures that comprise daily life and draw me close to God. I focus on these simple blessings and grow in gratitude for my life's many gifts. From Psalm 144:15, happy are the people to whom such blessings fall. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. Again, the affirmation is, I pause to appreciate life's simplest blessings. My name is Chris. Thank you for worshiping here today with us.
Please stand for the miracle moment, number 147, the hope of glory. Christ is the light of my mind.
Illumine my thoughts. Christ is the love of my heart. Compassionate are my words. Christ is the strength of my hands. Helpful are my deeds. Christ is the power of my legs. Effortlessly I walk his path. Christ is the understanding of my eyes. Pure is my vision. Christ in me, my all. Christ in all I see.
Please remain standing for celebration song 141, I See Abundance Everywhere.
I'm gonna start this one off a little mellower, but hold on to your hats for later. I see abundance everywhere, God's rich supply beyond compare. This is to use and to enjoy His gift to us without alloy. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own shall come to me. God sends His children joy and peace, and health and wisdom and increase. And we are grateful, voices raised to Thee, O God, in hymns of praise. I pray that I may ever be in sweet communion, Lord, with Thee, upheld and protected by Thy hand, secure Thy near and where I stand. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own shall come to me. God sends His children joy and peace, good health and wisdom and increase. And we are grateful, voices raised to Thee, O God, in hymns of praise. Let's bring it on. There is no lack, all beautiful. His love provides, how beautiful to know God guides us on our way, sustains and blesses us, you say. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own shall come to me. God sends His children joy and peace, good health and wisdom and increase. And we are grateful, voices raised to Thee, O God, in hymns of praise.
And I'm going to ask you to stand for our opening prayer. Remain standing for our opening prayer. Together.
Unity of Burning is a vibrant, loving, spiritual community, providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ within all people.
Thank you.
So it is.
Please be seated. I hope that how close the worship assistant stands to the microphone didn't destroy any of those beautiful songs for you. I can turn it over to Reverend Jay now for the blessing and the prayer request and for the remainder of the service.
Thank you, Jennifer. This is your first time doing this?
Second.
Wonderful. You did beautiful. Good morning, all. I'd like for you to repeat with me the affirmation that we have for this morning. I am full of light.
I am full of light.
I am ready and able to receive the blessings that are mine.
I am ready and able to receive the blessings that are mine.
And so it is. Amen. Welcome to the new folks. Welcome to you from Houston. When Nancy talked about being the first time here, it reminded me of 20 odd years ago when I was speaking at Unity of Houston, and the august names of Dr. Catherine Ponder and Howard Caesar, and even one of Sig Paulson's children was in the audience, or one of his cousins. And I remember standing backstage, as I'm wont to do sometimes, and I was sitting there and I said, oh wow. And the person who was running the sound said, yeah, I'm going to be good. Because I was standing right next to him. I said, I affirm it, brother. I said, I need it from you. He said, just go out there and do it. And I just went out there and did it. I love Howard. I love Sig. And Michael Gott, who is a real great guy. So thank you for being here. Look forward to seeing you often in the future. This right now, we This is the time we bring our requests in prayer before the God that we know listens always, the one that is the very ground of our being. And that's why we feel secure wherever we go, because we know we're not alone. We know we're not alone in the desires of our heart and the celebrations, in the upsets, in the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that is called daily life. We all comprise wants and needs and desires. And this is the time for you to write them down if you haven't. I'll give you a moment to do that so they can be placed in the box, and then we'll, as a corporate body, corporate meaning body, not business, we'll bring our united love to bear on these requests. While we're waiting, I invite you to assume an attitude of prayer that you usually have, wherever it may be. You may be sitting at home. You may be, sometimes you just shoot prayers in situations where we're walking around. An old metaphysical gadget I learned from Norman Vincent Peale, you shoot prayers at some people for giving them whatever you think they need at the moment. If they're upset, you send them love. And most upset, all upset, is really not recognizing the love that's around us, and that is us. And right now we're about to do that, to remember who we are and whose we are. Infinite loving presence, we give thanks that you hear us. You are not only the ground of our being, you are the friend that sticketh closer than a brother. We know there is no place that we can outrun your love and your grace. No matter where we make our beds, no matter where we choose to live, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're there. We just need to recognize that. In this prayer box are the requests that span life situations from upset, sorrow, unhappiness, to celebration, and all those in between. We affirm that your perfect will is done in the lives of these dear ones. And right now, you are prospering, you're upholding, you're guiding, you're leading, and most of all, loving those that need it and recognize it. We affirm that those dear lives are being touched right now by the love that is not only in this room, but the love we connect with that is ever present all around the world. We lift our prayers into a heavenly chorus and we say, and it is done as we believe, and so it is. Amen.
So good to be back. Willie Nelson turned 90 yesterday. It's kind of a landmark. It inspired me to play more guitar today. What a great guitarist. A lot of people don't realize what a great instrumentalist he is. But there's a program change up here. I'm still doing a song. It's just not called Let the Rain Fall Down Over Me. I'm doing that in a couple of weeks. I just was inspired suddenly to shift gears yesterday, and I have artistic right to do that, I hope, Jay. But this song actually is a song by Richard Medici. It's not an original, but it's a version that I'm doing, and it's bringing abundance. So it fits your theme really nicely. So anyway, I'll do the other song really soon because I really like it. I was just suddenly just shifting gears yesterday. There are at least 100 ways My good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 100 ways. My good is coming to me. At least 100 ways for me to believe. And I count the blessings that I shall receive. There are at least 1,000 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 1,000 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 1,000 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 1,000 ways. My good is coming to me. At least 1,000 ways for me to receive. And I count my blessings, and this I do believe. At least 1,000 ways for me to believe. And I count my blessings that I shall receive. There are at least 1,000,000 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 1,000,000 ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least 1,000,000,000 ways. My good is coming to me. Y'all can clap, y'all. At least infinite ways. My good is coming to me again. Yeah. There are at least infinite ways. My good is coming to me. There are at least infinite ways. My good is coming to me. Yeah. My good is coming to me. My good is coming to me. Right. Bring it on, y'all. Many ways that you can get it. Bring it on. No fear.
Wow. Thank you. Good morning again. When I thought of what I wanted to speak to you about this morning, and I do that about a month beforehand or 6 weeks, I realized that prosperity was what was coming to my mind in my moment of meditation. And so many times in New Thought churches, there is the idea of we got to give a prosperity sermon at least once a year. It's one of these kind of things that I've heard some of my co-ministers around the area say, well, we've got to do that. Because money and prosperity can be a ticklish subject. There's some things that they say in little minister school you don't want to touch too much, and we don't want to get into sex, politics, or money. But this morning, I'm going to do a deep dive right into prosperity and what it means and what it's meant to me and what it means in New Thought and what has been said for years and years as New Thought coalesced in the late 1800s and how it has evolved over the years, decades, and also hopefully some practical common sense about this idea called prosperity. I was asked once in a focus group if I would take $1 million for my arm, or I would take $500,000 for even a toe. And the side sounding a little gruesome, the point of the man that was making this, doing this class was, you're already a millionaire. You wouldn't take $1 million for your body parts, especially for your sight or whatever, if somebody came up to you and offered you that. So realize this morning, you already have abundance in ways that maybe you've taken for granted or that I've taken for granted. So let's start from the idea that you're here, you're upright, and you're able to see and be part of this wonderful experience. You're prosperous right now, to a degree. But when we think about prosperity, we oftentimes think of money. Money, money. If only I had more. I've heard it said that money can't buy happiness, but it darn sure can buy you the Cadillac to get in it and go look for it. And I understand that. I'd like to have a big lot dumped in my lap just to see what I'd do with it. You know, how it would feel. But we also know that there are people all over the world that have huge sums of money and they're not happy. And we have read that, it's almost cliche, that I had everything material the world could offer, but I wasn't happy. So what is true prosperity? What did Charles Fillmore say in his 1936 classic work, just called Prosperity? What was the attitude of the antecedents of New Thought about the idea of being prosperous? Well, Emerson said that true prosperity is a way of looking at the world. Khalil Gibran said that my next breath is prosperity. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said to be prosperous is to be joyous. And if you're not joyous, no matter how much money you have, you're not going to be prosperous. Emmett Fox put it this way in the 7-Day Mental Diet: I prosper to the degree I recognize that my blessings are already at hand. So you see, there's an idea of prosperity that runs sort of in a idea of, you know, one area to another, but pretty much staying in the center of what we're talking about. The idea that prosperity is not money alone. Now, if you are treating for prosperity, in the New Thought we talk about treating, we say that that is a definite goal that we hold to and we're working towards. If money is your need this morning, far be it from me to stop you from doing your treatment. We treat for overall good to come to us. And if money is your treating idea, I think you'll find something here that will help you. But I think that most of us want more life and want abundantly. In Scripture, we're told in 3 John verses 1 and 2, Beloved, I wish that you prosper even as your soul prospers. So you see, even in the New Testament, there was this idea that you could prosper monetarily and your soul could prosper. So there was a line of demarcation. There was the idea you can get a lot of money and still not really have prospered. Haven't we all had things come to us that we thought, we hope this is going to do it for us, make us happy, and then pretty soon we're back in the same mindset and we're saying, I thought that would make me happy, and yeah, I'm waiting for the next thing. Because we're taught in this culture the next turn of the road, the next thing I get, the next over and over again, and we're not taught to appreciate what we have, knowing that when we bless what we have, when we love what we have, when we embody the thankfulness for what we have, it paves the way for greater blessings. The world, the universe, God, Spirit, Brahman, Jehovah, whatever name you choose to call this loving presence, loves a cheerful giver, not only of money, but of the love that is in your heart, the care, the concern you have for others. In other words, do you realize that when you are living a life that blesses yourself and other people, you are opening the doors of infinity to bring you more of what you are producing right now? This world, this place we live, loves multiplication. Drop one seed into the ground and you get an abundant harvest. It is the law of the universe. It is the spiritual law that as you give, it will be given back to you. And as I've said at our offering time, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And then there's another verse in Malachi that I kind of mumbled last week because we were walking out, and I want to explain that. In Malachi it says, bring all you tithes into the storehouse, and I will give back to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over, and will rebuke the devourer for your sake. Well, what does that mean? To me and to metaphysicians and to the New Thought movement, it means that I will take care of those things that you may have set in motion that you don't want to have happen. And through your gift, through your loving offering, I will erase that law of cause and effect in that moment. In other words, you can give yourself literally into new life. You're able to erase the deeds that are not the deeds, but the cause and effect that comes with certain things. You're able to do that because your heart is changed. You have forgiven. You're trusting in the infinite presence that sustains you. And the law of the universe backs you up in what you do. That's what we celebrate this morning. We celebrate the fact that we're not bound to some wheel that turns inexorably from one day to another, from one experience to another in a dull and drab way. By gosh, we celebrate new life. And if we're not doing it, not only here, but every day, we're missing it. Because every single day is a blessing. And if you don't think so, try missing one of them. I have thought during the hardest times, and you all know about the roofs that caved in my house. You know how I told you last week, I sat there like a dummy and just looked at it thinking that would change it. I don't know what it is that when you get hypnotized or transfixed on something, you think, if I just think hard enough, I can undo this. No, I've got to have people come in there and put new acoustic on there. I've got things I have to do. But I am thankful for the fact that it was so easily fixed. There's always something to be thankful for in any situation. Our job is to find that nugget of gold in what seems like a river of you know what. And for me, it is the fact that I'm thankful that it wasn't worse, and that I bring the spirit of love for my home and for my animals and for those that are around me, and I want it to be better than ever. That kind of attitude is something that you practice over a period of time. I don't know that you're born with it. I know that I had to practice it. You're blessed if you're born with that attitude that sees the positive even in the middle of negative circumstances. That is a form of prosperity. It's not, as I said, all about money. Would you rather be with someone who is negative and critical and fault-finding and full of all the riches they can to do anything they can? Or would you rather be with someone who may not have been able to partake of all of life's monetary blessings, but sees the good in everything? I know for me, I'd rather be around somebody who is attuned to the moment and loves life and what they see. And they see that true prosperity is living in an attitude of gratitude. And guess what? When they do that, they have opened their lives to more. Keep your spiritual windows open. Expect the best. Understand serendipity happens. Things happen. It's said God is mysterious. He moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. Allow yourself the gift of expectancy with your wonder, with your joy, with just like a daily practice. And know that you're prospering even as your soul prospers by the experiences that come your way. The trick is being able to turn those experiences into something that you'll be able to use in your life later on, or perhaps whenever, to be better than you are right now. So you see, I kind of handle the idea of prosperity the way Charles Fillmore did, the way Ernest Holmes did, the way Emmett Fox did. I treat for prosperity at all levels. I invite you to do that this morning. Money being one of them. You could take that perhaps as a base, and then you go up and you say, I prosper in health. I prosper in self-love. I prosper. You go right up the list of things you're thankful for. You build a column of things that you want more of in your life. You could have money as the base, or you could have it at the top, but be open to any of the innumerable ways that you could be prospered. The trick is getting rid of the ideas that hamstring us, that keep us from our good. It's not that you're begging a reticent God for something that God won't give. It's that you recognize the font of every blessing, the fountainhead of all good, resides not out there in the sky somewhere. It resides in you. It resides in the creative power that you have and how you make use of it. It comes down to another metaphysical gadget, as Lowell Fillmore called it, son of our Unity co-founders, and he wrote a wonderful book, The Prayer Way to Health, Wealth, and Happiness. And one of the metaphysical gadgets that he had and that I loved was, in any situation, I go forth to meet my good. He even had it in the book. When the doorbell rings, you walk up to it and say, I go forward to be blessed and to meet my good. Every part of life, leaving nothing out, you expect good and you give thanks for it ahead of time. That's visualization. That's contemplation. That's all the things that we talk about. But it's an active process. It's one where we say inside ourselves, I am willing to release the lesser to take hold of the greater. And in this place, hopefully you're taught how to do that. Have you ever needed to give up an experience that was not something you needed to go on with over and over again to make room for something new? Has anybody ever told you you've got to let that go? You've got to release that. Why? Because you can't be prospered unless you do. You can't be prospered with new ideas. You can't be prospered with new ideas of solving problems if you're holding on hard to what happened in the past, or your judgments, or your ideas of how things should have been, could have been, would have been, if only. Psychiatrist's offices are filled with people that say, if only. You know, I made a little joke some time back. If only me, Jay, had bought a share of Coca-Cola in 1905, I'd be a millionaire. How ridiculous. I was way far from being born. I can't if only do anything. If only I'd have bought a share of Apple stock. If only. I have to realize that the pattern, the steps of my life have been ordered by the Spirit in me that knows what I needed next. And the more that I was open to that, the more that I surrendered to that, the more my life worked. You know the Tao of your being. You know what works for you. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm asking you to discover it this morning. I'm asking you to give up if only. And perhaps say next time in place of if only. If only I hadn't been this. If only I hadn't been that. It blocks the blessings. It blocks the prosperity. It keeps you stuck and it hurts. And this is a place where we don't celebrate hurt. We celebrate new life. And we celebrate the idea that, and I love to repeat it, and I hope you'll bear with me, for I've done it for 100 times. What Mary Baker Eddy said, to those leaning on the sustaining infinite, today is big with blessings. Think about that. Think about what that means to you. You're leaning on the arms of the infinite. You're saying, I trust completely, I forgive wholeheartedly, I'm ready to walk forward in new life. But how many of us can do that? Because we carry and pull our precious, darling resentments and the things that hurt. I know that in Pathlighters, I've talked to some folks that have said, I can't seem to let what happened go. The pandemic has just done something to me. No, you did something to you by your thoughts about it. You're here. And you're challenged to make a new idea about what life means for you now. We're all here. We've all been through it, and we don't need to go through the ain't it awful. We know that it was challenging, and we know that we can grow beyond it. We take the lessons that it gave, and we walk forward into new life. Some people don't want to do that. The perverse pleasure of hanging on to the things that hurt is worth everything to them. I've seen family members, my own family members, that haloed their hurt so much that they literally withered in place. And they say life is, you know what, and then you die. That's how they feel about it. But to those who are open to the movement of spirit, they say life is wonderful, and then it gets better. Good is great, but good is the enemy of better, and better is the enemy of perfect. Now, we don't want necessarily be perfect, but we already are in spirit, so why not manifest it as much as we can in this experience? In other words, your life is a gift. Open up the package and make the most of it. Make the most of you. That's prosperity in itself. And when you're acting like that, when you're putting that kind of energy out there, you know what's going to happen? It's going to come back to you exponentially. It may not be in the form of money. It may be in a blessing that you didn't expect. It may be something that you say, how did that cross my path? Why did this happen? I wonder. It's because of something you put into motion some time ago. You're thinking every moment. You're sending thoughts out in this universe, and they correspond to people thinking the same thoughts. It doesn't say that there is a necessary time limit. It just says, as you think and as you believe, so you are. That can happen in a minute, or it could happen in a year, or 20 years, or a span of time that I can't even name for you. I'm telling you that it's important this morning what you think. Think about what you're thinking about. That's what we say every Sunday. And that's what I say, and it's what I've heard many of my colleagues say. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, or I'm not. I'm trying to say that the more that you declare words of goodness and beauty and joy over your life, the more those things are going to increase. Listen to how children act. Have you seen how they respond to words of praise? And I see so many times it's almost hackneyed to hear someone say to a child, you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl, shouldn't have done that. And you take these ideas, they take them into their little heads, and they begin to think, I am bad. But I've also seen the converse. I've seen people praise their children, say wonderful things and wonderful words of blessings over them. And you can almost see the children stand taller, and they're happier. We respond to the affirmative. We're not meant for the negative. We invented that because we're scared. We get scared being down here on this planet because we don't follow a few spiritual laws that were laid down for us. We forget that we were made in the image and likeness of God because there are people whose stock in trade is to convince you that you are less than who you are. And they will do that in order to take your money and your belief system and make you what they want you to be. This morning, I want to see you be what you should be and what you could be. Don't like should too much. I think I'd like to say what you could be by the idea of changing your thoughts. Louise Hay said this, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. You can change your mind right now. And the prosperity that you receive through that decision comes with You've released the chains. You've taken the chains that bind you off, and automatically you're open when you say, I am willing to let go of those things that have bound me for so long. And then my favorite kind of prayer that allows for the idea of money is this or something better for the highest good of all concerned. Always end your prayers with that sentence, because it's like a divine insurance policy. You're saying, I may not know everything, but the Spirit does, and I'm willing not only to have this, but something better that I may not even know. Why? Because I'm leaning on the everlasting arms that are holding me inside. You see what it comes back to? Surrender. Prosperity, surrender. I thought prosperity, you're supposed to make a vision board. I thought you're supposed to do all kinds of metaphysical gadgets. Yes, those are ideas and systems that keep your mind attuned to what you wanted. But ultimately, the prospering idea I'm talking about is an act of surrender that says to the Spirit within, you're going to guide me and give me everything I need as I walk this thing called life. It is an act of faith, and faith is mighty powerful. Faith is what we talk about here in one way or another as well every Sunday. If you could have faith that moves mountains, let the faith you have move the mountains of doubt, inferiority, fear, anxiety, despair that are in you, if they are right now. Know that the good backs you up wherever you go and whatever you do. And know that prosperity means more than a big bank account. It can be that, but it can be so much more. I don't know about you, but I have moments in my life that I wouldn't take a ton of money for. The first time I remember being at the beach with my mother, my first kiss. The first time that, this one gets a little deep for me, but the first time that I realized it wasn't all about me. There was somebody in front of me that I could comfort and love. Feeling, and even science has a name for that feeling. When we're watching movies or hearing music, we get that cringy feeling on the back of our scalp, and we get goose pimples. And what is that? Well, it's ASMR, autosomal meridian response. Science has a name for this, but really what it is it's those moments that take our breath away. I've been prospered in so many ways. I've been prospered as a pastor by dealing with and having wonderful people around me. I've been prospered by what I learn, what I know. I'm voracious about this. I want to know more. I want to know more about how to lift those up that are in front of me. I want to know more about the Spirit that says, never say die, never quit. I want that portion that my mentor had when he lay dying in Detroit. He was Reverend Jack Boland, Unity of Detroit. And he was flat on his back, and there was a whole lot of people around his bedside. And the end could come at any moment. And he closed his eyes, and people began to pray. And then he opened and winked and said, fooled you, didn't I? That kind of strength and that kind of life and a portion of that kind of beingness is what I want for myself and for all of you. To know that you have the right stuff. You were born with it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, especially those who have a monetary interest in controlling you. They're controlling you because they don't want to control themselves. And they feel like there's strength in numbers. There's fear in numbers, I'll tell you that sometime. And masked fear makes for mass negativity. And that's a subject for a whole nother talk that I intend to give later on. We need to break the chains of fear. And we start doing that the minute that we say, I have abundant faith in the ground of my being. Call it what you will. And I forgive myself, and I love myself, and I'm willing to embrace a new moment. When you do that, you're a millionaire already. The money is gravy. Think about this. As you walk out of here today, think about not only touching the God within you, but touching the God within others. Calling forth the best to those who are in front of you. And remember, prosperity, besides money, laughter, dreams, experiences, things you wouldn't take $1 million for. You have them, I have them. Remember that. And then go ahead and make your vision board. Go ahead and treat for prosperity, physical prosperity. Go ahead and declare you want that sum of money. But know, at least know that behind you, you've got the true prosperity. That is who you really are. You're a child of God. And as I said, God makes no mistakes. You're not a mistake. I'm not a mistake. We're here on purpose. We're here to prosper. Even as our soul prospers, take this and walk with it this week. I love you all. I look forward to seeing how this plays out in your life. You all come and tell me things, and the Pathlighters do too. I want to hear how this works for you. We've got the best stuff in the world. You can't lose with the stuff we use because we're loved. God bless you, each and every one of you. Have a prosperous and wonderful week.
In the midst of his children, the Lord said he would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3. And I feel the same sweet spirit I felt oft times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. There's a holy hush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Right now, we assume a position that is comfortable to us as we enter a meditative state. Take a few deep breaths, we calm ourselves, and we recognize the Spirit in us by whatever name we have given it, whatever image we hold. It is that presence that we know loves us unconditionally. And this Spirit in us flows like a river. This powerful life force. And we feel it from the top of our heads. And we let this wonderful, warm feeling of health, radiant health, as it flows down through us, we take abundantly of what we need, whether it be health for our body, our mind, our emotions, whether we need to forgive ourselves or someone else, whether we need to let go of the if-onlys. We're remade and we're recreated anew right now because we choose. We stand in front of the timeless, the eternal that is in us. Love is leading our way right now because we forgive, we let go, we forgive those things in ourselves we wish we could have done differently. We release old memories that hurt. And we're thankful that we are present in this moment. And as we look in retrospect, we give thanks for the experience because it made us who we are today. If we are here, we can experience new life. And we can call any experience good that helped us grow. We feel this charge of energy right now that will go with us this week. It will touch others and our life situations. all by the power of decision, all by the prospering power of love. We're so thankful for this moment in which we are remained. And we take another deep breath and say to ourselves, I forgive you. I love you. I'm for you. And we go forth in new life to touch others. Remade confident in expressing the truth of our being. And so it is. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Now we come to the time in our service where it's our privilege to give of our abundance, give of our overflow, knowing that as we give, true prosperity blesses us in innumerable ways, not just monetarily, in ways we may not see or know of. Right now we give the best gift we're able, knowing that it facilitates the work that we do here at Unity of Bernie. The ministries, especially the online ministries, those that tune in from halfway around the world. You know, I bragged on them. They've seen what you all are. They know the love that's in this place, and they'd love to be with us. They've said that. So please give the best gift you're able so we can continue this work. And now if I could have the usher come forward right now to take our offering. Thank you, Bob.
freely, freely I have received.
And as the offering is taken right now, please know that you can
Divine
send your
love for
gifts
me,
into
this
Unity
is
of
all
Bernie,
that I
PO Box
have,
1973,
all that I
Bernie,
give
Texas,
and
78006. Or you can press the PayPal button that is on the page, our webpage, or our Unity of Bernie Facebook page that you're on right now. We need your gifts. We love you. We thank you for the gift of who you are. We thank you for sharing your abundance and your tithes and your offerings. God bless you. As I told our online audience, thank you. Thank you for your gifts. And together we repeat our prayer for increase, divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and my love. God bless you. So it is.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Together we stand and hold hands as we feel comfortable doing so.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God.
God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Namaste. I wrote the song. Well, thank you. Thank you again. I'm Tom, another member of Unity, and just want to thank you for being with us again today. It always is more with you. You came for a reason. We're here for a reason. And within that fellowship of people being human, we're so glad that we got a chance to be with you. You made it more. And thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful, peaceful, rewarding, a most abundant week yourself, and most fulfilling in every way. We wish for you this week, and until we see you again here at Unity of Bernie. God bless you. God bless you. You are loved.